Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Part 2, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. Let me tell you this, man. In part 2, we're going to talk about defense versus destruction. Because that's what it is. See something here, man. Let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Shakur Stevenson's shield and Teofimo's bombs. Now, at the heart of this fight is a fundamental boxing question. Can elite defense neutralize elite power? Shakur Stevenson's defense, not just about avoiding punches. He's not, of course people make jokes. He runs around the ring. Nah, you can't say that anymore after watching him fight Zepeda. Shakur can do what he wants. And he's earned that right. So if I hear somebody dissing him like that, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to come to his defense. Because Shakur Stevenson, he doesn't deserve that title of a runner. He can no kidding do what he wants in the ring. But I do think when it comes to his defense, it's not just about avoiding punches, it's about controlling exchanges. He doesn't simply slip and move away. Whenever he slips, he positions himself to counter. He's always in position to let his hands go. Now, his defense is layered. Footwork first, then head movement, then guard, then angles. This makes him difficult to hit clean, but even more importantly, it makes him difficult to hit twice. Fighters who face Shakur often feel like they have to start over after every single exchange. That constant resetting breaks rhythm and patience. And I just want to say this, man. I don't think his grandfather gets enough credit for what he's done with Shakur Stevenson. Because he created a masterpiece, man. You know what I'm saying? A masterpiece. Now, when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, his dad deserves a lot of credit too. But the stark contrast here is Teofimo Lopez, his offense is built on punishment. He throws with the intention of hurting you. He's not just there trying to touch you, tickle you, coochie coo you. That's not his style. His punches carry commitment. His hooks and overhands are thrown with full hip rotation and torque. Teofimo is at his best when an opponent hesitates in front of him. He doesn't need extended combinations to be effective. He needs timing. He wants his opponents to reach, overextend, or stand still for a fraction too long. And when that happens, Teo recognizes it, and he explodes with that power and athleticism. And this creates a dynamic where Shakur will try to win by denial, and Teofimo will try to win by interruption. Shakur wants to deny Teofimo clean targets. Teofimo wants to interrupt Shakur's flow with one decisive strike. The fight becomes about which approach is more sustainable. Defense can win rounds, but offense can win fights instantly. And that's the tension of this matchup. It really is. Offense can win fights instantly, but defense can win rounds. But I don't think Teofimo can knock Shakur Stevenson out. That's just me. I hear some people, I was going back and forth in the chat the other day on a channel. I was invited to come over there and just, chit chat with them. I didn't last long because they were basically saying how Teo's going to knock out Shakur. I'm like, who, what, when, where, why, how did you arrive at that conclusion? You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this. There's another important element. And that next important element is how each man responds to being hit. Shakur has shown durability and composure when touched. He doesn't panic. If anything, he tightens his defense, recalibrates, and observes. He processes what happened and says, okay, I can't make that mistake again. With Teofimo, however, is emotionally reactive. When he lands, he gets energized. When he misses, he can become impatient. That means Shakur's defense is not only plastic. And what I mean by plastic is like kind of malleable. It means that when it comes to Shakur's defense, he can change it up into any shape, any form that he wants. And in addition to that, it's about him being physical. You see, Shakur can do whatever he wants when it comes to his defense. It is emotional manipulation. Every miss Teofimo makes chips away at his composure. Every clean counter Shakur lands reinforces his own confidence. That being said, Teofimo Lopez, he has the kind of power that introduced risk that Shakur Stevenson has not faced consistently at any weight. And Shakur, this is his first time fighting at 140. And that's what's going to make this all the more interesting. Is Teofimo Lopez his power? And if Shakur, after this will be what, 126, 130, 135, 140, be his fourth weight division, we're going to see how Shakur handles that power up at 140. Look, even the best defense fails sometimes. Even perfect positioning can be broken by timing. Teofimo's offense is not random. It's opportunistic. He waits for moments when Shakur transitions between movements. Those transitions are when defense is weakest. That's where Teofimo will try to insert violence. There's also an issue of volume versus damage when it comes to Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Shakur, he may land more punches. He may control more minutes of the fight. But I do believe this, and I'm just being fair. I think Teofimo's punches will be heavier. And judges are human. Crowds react to power. If Teofimo can land some hard shots and the crowd reacts, the judges could score rounds for Teo. Momentum can shift even when the scoreboard says otherwise. This means Shakur must not only avoid getting hit, he must avoid looking hurt. His composure will matter as much as his technique. This is also a test of discipline. Teofimo can't afford to swing wildly at a defensive master. Let me tell you, if he's swinging wildly at Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez is going to miss. More than likely, he'll get off balance, and Shakur will be in position to strike and to embarrass Teo, and to make those judges say, well, hold your horses, let's not take it to the stupid. We got a guy in here putting on a boxing clinic and destroying the athletic boxer puncher. And that's why I think it's important for Teofimo as well as Shakur to really try to pick their moments. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the crowd, and they can influence how fighters perform. But if you're a true professional, you don't worry about the crowd. You know, you don't worry about all the rah-rah and the noise coming from the crowd. It's just like people out here on the internet, if you're a content creator, you can't worry about any noise coming from the crowd. You know what I'm saying? You even the good noise. You got to be able to understand the game plan and the strategy, and you got to stick it out. But what I will tell you this, if Shakur gets uncomfortable, could be interesting because he got to remain alert every single second. One lapse could erase 5 rounds of good work. Next thing you know, Teofimo has a burst or has an opportunity. Worst thing could happen is Shakur gets dropped. And this is what makes the fight dangerous for both men, because Shakur could drop Teo. Shit, Kambosos dropped him. He didn't drop him with a hard shot. It was just timing and opportunity and speed, and he just threw it, and it landed. So it's a battle between consistency and catastrophe. And I'll say this, if Shakur succeeds, the narrative will be that defense still beats power and that control beats chaos. If Teofimo succeeds, the narrative will be that no amount of skill can fully neutralize real power. And that's interesting because people can say what they want. If they try to push that narrative that no amount of skill can fully neutralize real power, yeah, go tell Floyd Mayweather that, all right? But one thing about Floyd, he had power, but he fought guys who could crack. Floyd fought everybody, every style, everything. And that skill, those skills paid the bills. Terrence Crawford, he fought a lot of people, a lot of different styles, guys with power. But, you know, skills pay the bills, but Crawford had power too. I think the main difference between Crawford, Mayweather, and Shakur is Crawford and Mayweather had power. Shakur, he can hit, but he can't crack like those guys. But the bottom line, Shakur Stevenson he knows that this fight matters. Teofimo Lopez knows that this fight matters. So it's not just two fighters in there looking to fight clean and get a decision or trying to just come for the ultimate mashup crasher. I think they're bringing more than just a fight. I think they're bringing two philosophies in the ring. And we're going to see their philosophies being tested in real time. So, Shakur Stevenson has an elite defensive system against Teofimo Lopez's explosive power. And we're going to find out if Shakur Stevenson's skill can neutralize force, or does one punch change everything. So, anyway, that's part 2 of this. Just trying to break down how this fight can swing in seconds. I guess we got to do a part 3 and 4, right? I got 10 parts to this I'm going to do. But I just finished part 2. Let me see about getting done with part 3 and give y'all something to mull over as you anticipate part 4, 5, and 6 coming tomorrow. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Do not miss this fight. There's so much boxing coming on this weekend. It's ridiculous. But this fight card is crazy. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to try to watch them all, but I'm not missing this fight card. I'm going to go live for this one. Y'all keep cool, all right? In the breeze.